Hi, it's Dr. Stombaugh here, and today's blog, or vlog, I will be talking about letting your children climb. And that's basically a metaphor for letting them be, letting them play, letting them explore. And I think it's key for them to be doing this at all the stages of their development, not only as infants, letting them crawl and letting them move around and explore their environment down on the floor, and then again higher up as they grow, but also for your children to let them explore their environment as far as climbing trees and climbing jungle gyms and all those things without our help. It's important to instill safety, but it's also important for them to have a little bit of a risk when they're playing, have some risks when they're playing, and feel as if they can sort of set their own boundaries and be safe while doing it and be empowered while doing it. There are ways you can attribute this to teenagers as well. If you figure that your teenagers are slowly gaining independence, or even your preteens, and it's very unnerving sometimes for us to let go of that relationship that we have with them, to always keep them safe and be involved in all of the things that they're doing. But it's so very important to let them go and let them climb. It's one of those things where if we don't allow them to have some of that guided ability to explore and take risks, then they're never going to learn what that means for them. They're never going to learn their capabilities within that. And I think as they grow, it can only help them as far as becoming more independent and being more self-confident and more self-reliant. So think about this as you raise your children, as you raise your infants to be children, your children to be preteens and teens, and then your teens to be adults. I think we all have the same goals, and it's to raise self-assured children and to raise them to be on their 2 feet without us eventually. So we want them to have the boundaries, we want them to have the stability and the security to make those decisions on their own, and to be able to stand on their 2 feet. So when you're saving them, it's not necessarily helping them. When they don't do something and you save them and you fix their problems as teenagers or as children, doesn't really help them. I'll give you an example. Last evening, my child lost her book for school, her planner. And so, of course, my first instinct was to say, well, I will get the teacher to get you a new one, and then you won't lose the points on your reading grade. But as we talked more, it really wasn't her fault that she lost it. It was actually our fault, because we were cleaning stuff out of her bags and spring cleaning, and then ended up putting her stuff on the counter, and then somebody else cleaned it up. So we're not really sure where the planner is, but it was really our fault. So initially I thought, well, I'm not going to save her. I'm going to let her explain that she didn't put things in the right place, and it was her decision, and if she loses points, she loses points. Natural consequences. But as I talked to her more, I thought, well, this is really not the right situation to do that, because it was actually my husband and I that misplaced it. So the thought process of giving her that space to have the repercussions of her own decisions was there. And of course, she panicked, and I kind of talked her down and talked her out of it and calmed her a little bit, and then we were able to discuss and say, well, it really wasn't her fault. But the idea of letting them do that, letting them have a natural consequence for what they do as far as keeping things messy and losing something and getting points off, that was still there, and kind of got me thinking, and that's kind of where this came from. Got me thinking about a blog on letting them fall and letting them climb. And so it's very hard to do that, and we see it in our everyday lives. But make sense of these things and be conscious about, do they really need to have the consequence at that time? Is it something that's going to help them be a little more responsible, or make an impression on them so that they remember next time to keep things in order? So it just kind of got me thinking. I thought I would share. But the important thing is also physically let them do things that maybe push their boundaries a little bit in that way. So if they are having a choice of being on a soccer team with kids their own age and younger, or kids their own age and a little bit older, then do it. You hesitate because you say, well, I want my child to succeed. Well, what is that? That really is just learning. You want your child to learn and get better at something. So whether it's soccer or anything else, give them that space to challenge themselves and make sure that they can have people on their team that maybe are better than them to sort of push them a little bit. And so it's just another way to kind of let them climb and let them do what maybe is not comfortable, but maybe really beneficial for them. So hope that helps. And let me know some ideas that you guys want for next vlog. Bye.